coming, they wouldn't
I
show.
don't
I don't want one of these then. I just want water, you know, but where am I gonna buy an RTS anyhow?
I don't want one of these. You know. Call to order the regular meeting for the Downtown Development Authority for Tuesday, April 7th. Can we have the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, may we have roll call, please?
Ann Alberg,
Here.
Tim Denton,
Here.
Casey Haney,
Here.
Eric Schaefer,
Here.
Kevin Smith, James Tim.
Here. Okay, can we have approval of the meeting agenda?
I make a motion to approve the meeting agenda as presented.
Support it.
Discussion? All those in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same? Approval of the consent agenda, which includes the DDA minutes from March the 10th, 2026, and the approval of the bills as of March 31st, 2026, in the amount of $14,724.59.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I second. And a roll call vote for the money?
Casey Haney.
Aye.
Eric Schaefer,
Yes.
James Tim.
Yes.
Tim Denton,
Support.
Kevin Smith, Ann Alberg.
Yes. Okay, Reserve 10, there is none. Old business, the railroad project.
Absolutely. So as you may recall, this was presented to the board and during the March meeting, where the recommendation is for consider authorizing the DDA to reimburse the village for eligible placemaking related costs associated with the Railroad Street Improvements Project over a period of up to 3 years, consistent with phase 1 of the DDA development plan, with the ability to accelerate reimbursement if sufficient fund balance exists. The only modification to this is at the request of the board for the last meeting. I have also not just included the costs associated with the improvements, which came up with that number, but there's also the design rendering showing what the improvements are that are being presented per this request.
What changed?
So we have, can we scroll over? Scroll. Keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. Here, so these are the design renderings that coincide with the work items that you see before you, showing what the added placemaking measures are that have been implemented with working with the landscape architect in tandem with Railroad Street project. So these are some of the items.
So they're asking to get reimbursed for the
So the
$67,000.
suggestion was is the DDA does have, this is an item that is listed within the development plan, that there's multiple options that could be made. Suggestion that I was presenting was being that the impact associated with these placemaking measures is approximately $67,760 that the board could tentatively reimburse the village for those costs, as to where the project will cost similar to if it didn't have those added placemaking measures, while the downtown still gets the benefit of those measures.
So this is an add-on to the existing project.
That's correct.
These placemaking,
Yep.
something, we discussed this last time, but this is the approval to actually pay for that since it wasn't
That
included
is correct. This
in the
is,
original project.
I presented the additional
Yep.
information that the board requested. Everything else is the same as last
Okay.
week.
Is the timeline still the same?
So
With the railroad project?
we
like
believe the
was-
project should be starting towards the end of July. Don't believe that we have any other updates beyond that.
Supposed to start the week after Heritage Days.
They'll want to finish this as
Oh,
quick
okay.
as possible.
Yeah, okay, because I didn't see anything in there, so that's fine.
Too early to have more updates than that.
Do we have a motion to authorize the staff to prepare the reimbursement agreement?
I will put forward a motion to support the additional costs of the placemaking.
I would support that. Is there any further discussion? And we need a roll call.
Eric Schaefer,
Yes.
Tim Dunham,
Yes.
James Tim,
Yes.
Kevin Smith,
Aye.
Casey Haney. Yes. Dan Alberg.
And next is gonna be the educational training.
So the recommendation is for approve the use of existing professional development funds to register for 2 additional EDF PAB and Economic Development Finance Professional Certification courses through Grow America. That I had completed the first 2 courses as of last year. These would be the final courses for the certification. You will see additional to the items. We do have a sufficient budget that would cover the cost of this, as noted under the professional training funds available. Addition to this, the attached documents show what these courses consist of and how they align with the TDA goals and objectives. Happy to go into details, address any comments or questions or concerns about this.
Do you have to take a test at the end?
There is an exam after each.
Well, normally for certs there is, that's why I'm just wondering.
Yeah. That's correct. This is a lifelong education.
Can you bring it here so we
So
can just give it
I've,
to you, so we make sure that.
I have completed three 4.5-hour exams so far, and that's not counting the additional quizzes and so forth, because these are structured as a 40-hour course.
Awesome. Under the guise of better you than me, I say that's great and I approve it. Support.
All right. No further discussion. Can you have roll call again, please?
Tim Dunham,
Approve?
Kevin Smith.
Aye.
James Tim.
Aye.
Casey Haney. Yes. Eric Schaefer,
Yes.
Dan Alberg.
Yes. Moving right along.
If I could, though, since now we've got a new staff member, is Caitlin, are you then gonna be going down an education path similar to this, I'm assuming? I didn't know, Doug, if that was like, because I know that previously, you know,
So we have been working on setting up a professional development path for her that will certainly plan and prepare for that as part of, next year's budget alignment. With any that there's fiscal alignment. However, we do have multiple options that are freely available.
I will stop asking questions about new staff member training. Thank you, Caitlin.
Okay, now moving on to the downtown business goal setting sessions.
So this, I do have a couple updates, that this would be proposed for May 6th as, instead of being March, that looking to have this at Riverdog as part of the business meet and greets, along with our consultant assisting in marketing and economic development plan analysis. So the recommendation is approve a budget not to exceed the $2,500 for expenses associated with hosting up to 3 downtown business goal setting sessions in 2026. That would be one of them, and then the other two, we could discuss timing and strategies at a future date. But this would allow us to work out those logistics with the board's permission.
Okay, so I just want to clarify, so the 2,500 is for all 3 of the,
That's
of the
correct.
times? Okay,
Yeah, not to exceed,
not to exceed, okay.
because we currently are in the process of still seeing like how many people will come to the first one.
Gotcha.
So then, would this be for the participants of the meet and greet, or is this in addition to?
So this would be with people to support the people who came to the event with light hors d'oeuvres.
Oh, all right. So this is to pay for the meet and greet?
Absolutely.
Okay, got it. Tracking.
Yeah, because as you may recall, last year, the board decided as part of the workshop session to dedicate more of the budget towards these organizational events. And this will be the first step in doing that.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the budget not to exceed $2,500 associated with hosting the 3 downtown business goal setting sessions for this year.
Support.
Discussion?
I think to help us out for the future is if when whatever we're calling the event, because we've been calling this meet and greet for a while. If the budget request match that, there'd probably be people like you would ask less questions.
Okay.
Know what I mean?
I have these for you.
Yeah, I got that. So I have this down on my calendar for meet and greet, but then the discussion was
And it's something else, yeah.
business goal setting session. So I didn't know if that was gonna happen before that or after that, you know what I mean?
And you're correct, it would be part of it, but
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We can certainly work on the brand alignment.
Eric Schaefer,
Yes.
James Tim,
Yes.
Kevin Smith,
Aye.
Casey Hayden. Yes. Tim Denton,
Yes.
Ann Albert.
Yes. Okay, and the next on the agenda is the parking lot F.
So this recommendation is to consider authorizing the DDA to reimburse the village for eligible improvements associated with parking lot F over a period of up to 3 years, consistent with phase 1 of the DDA development plan, with the ability to accelerate reimbursement if sufficient funds balances exist. This is similar to the railroad project. It's actually part of or in addition to the railroad project. Any of you that are unfamiliar, parking lot F is the site that is next door to Farrell's, where it has remained unpaved for quite some time. And you'll see in the back or the rear side of this memo that there is drawing showing like what, the future parking is anticipated to look like. So the goal would be for this to occur along with the railroad street.
What's the easement on
The easement,
that? On the west side of the parking lot, like how much room exists?
There's not much,
Would they be continuing to park their vehicles on the parking lot?
probably, but not supposed to be.
yeah, so we do have parking lot permits where if there was, issues or concerns, that's how we
There
have to tentatively
I'm sure there's gonna be
rectify that
issues down
because
there.
I'm just saying, like, okay, and I think that might be helpful for us to
They've got
be in
access.
advance to.
Yeah.
to-
we've
to-
had those conversations with them as well, that, road curb being installed there, would not be acceptable for people to be driving over that on a daily basis. Yeah, because they do have a road, they also own a parcel, on Russell Street as well,
Dearborn.
or Dearborn.
They,
yes,
they
thank you.
technically have access on
Yeah.
Dearborn also.
I just think
There's
that
an
maybe we
existing
should
drive if you look at the
get
map,
ahead of
it
that.
shows it.
We've been in communication with them already.
All right, good.
Are we gonna have like bigger signage out there? Cause now that you guys have told me that is village parking, I looked for it and I saw the sign. Or, aha, it does exist, but you could see that people think it's part of Farrell's parking lot because it doesn't, it's not very clear that
We
that's.
can certainly have the
Or
discussion
maybe move
in
it, maybe.
regards to wayfinding.
Yeah.
That will be a separate proposal, but we can definitely have that discussion about wayfinding interests and objectives.
It's definitely on our radar to improve signage throughout the village.
Do you have a motion or any more discussions on parking lot app?
I'd like to make a motion, and I'll read it.
Okay.
To reimburse the village for eligible improvements associated with parking lot F over a period of up to 3 years, consistent with phase 1 of the DDA development plan, with the ability to accelerate reimbursement if sufficient fund balances exist.
I support what Kevin said.
Roll call.
Tim Dencham,
Support?
Casey Haney. Support. Kevin Smith,
Aye.
Eric Schaefer,
Yes.
James Tim,
Aye.
Ann Albert.
Yes. All right, the next thing is the discussion on the downtown snow removal.
So background here is at a recent village council meeting, discussion occurred regarding the potential implementation of sidewalk snow removal services within the downtown district. During that discussion, council indicated that any pursuit of such a program would be contingent upon financial participation from the Downtown Development Authority. The village council has not moved forward currently and is waiting guidance from the village attorney regarding the permissibility and structure of such a program. The Downtown Development Authority plan was adopted by the village council less than 3 months ago. Actually, my apologies, that would now be approximately 4 months ago. But the adopted development plan and corresponding tax increment financing plan do not identify snow removal services as a project, public improvement, or capital investment. A copy of the adopted development plan is attached for reference. Additionally, the village council's adopted capital improvement plan does not include this item being the snow removal equipment. Under the Michigan Downtown Development Authority Act, MCL 125.1651, tax increment revenues are intended to be used in furtherance of the development plan and for public facilities, improvements, or projects within the development area that advances its statutory purpose of preventing property value deterioration and promoting economic growth. Operational maintenance services are generally distinguished from capital public improvements. One other update I had since drafting this is that I did get a chance to discuss with the auditor, where he recommended if this is something that the board was looking at considering, should talk about memorandum of understanding rather than potentially having a specific dollar fund for like at least the snow removal equipment. If performing plowing service, especially contingent with events and other things, those would be a separate matter or possible.
Okay, so just so I understand, this is asking for equipment?
So it's, the council had discussed asking for equipment for public works along with potentially plowing the section of the downtown area along Main Street.
Why would we buy buying equipment?
Could I weigh in?
I'm just asking.
So the current equipment that we were using during this last winter is too large to cover the entire business district area where businesses are located. So what happened was part of the businesses in downtown were excluded from getting the sidewalk cleared. The equipment purchase would include a smaller piece of machinery to be able to fit through the entire business district. The additional ask is that when we purchase this equipment, it's also going to have other purposes. It's not just specifically for snow removal, but if there was a partial contribution to purchase the equipment. We were waiting on the, what the commitment of the DDA in terms of how much money they would like to contribute to it.
So if you buy the equipment for down here, is that gonna be used up in the other corridors for the other portions of the DDA district then?
It's for the business district, so it would be for the downtown. So when we look at, and this is like part and parcel to the Main Street initiative and creating more walkable downtown and bringing people to a central location. Currently, the focus would be on the downtown area here, not necessarily in the entire DDA district. So, 2 points to that. One, the downtown area currently, even in its current state, is being done by a volunteer. So,
And he's doing a great job.
he is doing a great job, but that happens when time permits. But the what this would do would clear again the walkability of the downtown area and contribute to other things like, as Doug stated, other events. If we have a winter parade or whatever the case may be, we can use that to clear off the sidewalks as well. It would also be used for parks. So that piece of equipment would be also used at Calvin Hill and likely in other areas where currently the device that's being used right now really isn't, it's not ideal for the size and scope of what we're trying to accomplish. This is a smaller device and
I'm assuming this is a tractor. right?
it is
It's
with,
approximately
with,
5
with,
foot wide with the current equipment. is
yeah.
6 foot wide.
yeah, with attachments. Accommodate. And it's not paying for the whole thing. We just want to know, the village is just interested in a contribution. And if you're interested in contributing to that, otherwise we won't do it. So.
I guess my point would be is, the entire DDA district is putting, you're getting funds from the entire district. I mean, is
If we don't plow up there, you get a.
Dollar
ticket.
General gonna, are you gonna be upset? As a property
Well,
owner
I
within the
was just
DDA,
gonna say
is
that-
yours gonna get
Yeah, because I know
snow
like.
blown? She's in the DDA district
I'm in the
downtown.
DDA district downtown, so as a, resident and community member too, and I live right by Calvin Hill, so then when the tractor comes through, I know my neighbors are gonna be like, well, why aren't our sidewalks getting plowed then if they're using it, and we're right there.
I think the other part that probably doesn't get discussed much is the tax rate that these businesses downtown pay versus residents as well. There's a lot of mechanics to this, but I would argue that given the tax rate that most of the buildings that are paying down here in terms of taxes versus many of the other DDA throughout the DDA, a lot of them are renting. So again, those considerations are, these people downtown are gonna benefit 2 different ways. One, it makes downtown more walkable, which is why I think the volunteer is doing it, because when there's snow packed up on the sidewalk, who's gonna come down and go to these buildings? The other side of that is I agree that it's not fair, but we have a business district, we have a long-term plan, we also have initiatives that are solely based, and the DDA contributes to them, up to and including a parking lot, for instance. These are scenarios where the business district, as it sets apart, is unique in the sense that we are trying to bring people to a common location, whether that's in the winter or whether that's in the summer.
But yet that common location is part of an entire district, which we represent.
For sure.
I understand. I mean, it would be great to have, I think that the township would be included in this also. I actually called Craig this winter. I'm like, how come you guys bypassed my place? but it's because it was too wide.
Another thing too, if the board's not able to come to a general consensus to make a motion, that we are planning on having a strategic planning session with village council and DDA and other members. That may be a good time to kind of dive into this a little bit more in regards to what or how this, could work out. Then bring back to the board after that.
Well, I mean, I would agree with the discussion as far as if you look at much of the businesses that are on M37 are in some sort of a rental agreement where that's getting covered by defective, whatever the business is. And here there's not that in downtown. So,
But there actually is. My sister's closet doesn't own that. Mackenzie Wester doesn't own her part of the building. My sister is up in the, what was that called? Anyways, she's up in a building that she's renting. You've got a tenant now that's going to be renting from you,
yes,
hopefully.
spending a lot of money to get ready.
But
Yeah,
I mean, there are a lot of renters down there.
I agree. I don't disagree with that, but I would also argue that the conditions for small business, direct to community, the connection is different versus a large rental property that has a huge parking lot and so on and so forth. And there's accommodations that we've made over the years and in terms of taxes and things like that are beneficial to larger landowners in that situation. But when you're a one-to-one small business owner who happens to own the property, it's a different type of engagement. And I'm always encouraged when we spend time focusing on the downtown area and when the DDA contributes to, say, for instance, a pavilion. We're not putting pavilions in any other place in the DDA district, right? So,
But it's for all public use.
Agreed.
It's all for all public
And
use,
I
the
would argue
pavilion,
that
the amphitheater. That's just mainly for
I
downtown, in
mean,
my
even
opinion, just for
the apartments
downtown.
are in the DDA district.
Yeah.
And they,
No, I don't know. I would
I'm
think
not-
that
I'm
would be part of the village,
I just think
part of
you're
their
setting
equipment
a
building,
precedence that puts the downtown corridor,
aside
if
from the
you,
other.
aside from all the, the banks and the grocery stores and every other.
and I think it is as stated, a much more of a one-to-one connection with the people who the DDA serves to incubate businesses and so on and so forth. The bank's not gonna go out of business tomorrow. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? Like these are, and by the way, the landowners are at a razor thin margin down here to make the rent affordable. And I mean, in and of themselves is a different type of situation. And again, I think it's all for us to look at the greater good of how we're trying to focus people down to the downtown area, and regardless of whether it's inclement weather or not, and people traverse back and forth, and customers mention that, it's just a nice to have. Hastings, and I don't want to name drop other communities because they're irrelevant, but Hastings does it. A lot of other communities clear sidewalks, and as just part and parcel to just helping
Does the
businesses
DDA,
thrive. I would argue
Cover
that,
that?
I mean, I don't know the specifics or the mechanics of it, but I
I
just
mean,
know
I
that,
just think that if I were the owner of Pixel Perfect or Thornapple Kitchen or the Grimsby Hollow and
but
everyone else is getting
their
this
parking
benefit.
lot- But their parking lots are cleared by the landowner, who have multiple tenants into a large scale business. I mean, it's like saying that that's like saying if we had a software developer in downtown Middleville that somehow magically Microsoft should get a break because the small business who struggles to stay in business as a tenant or as a landlord, for instance. I just think that it's we have a lot of attrition in the downtown area, and I think that the unique specific challenges that these people face versus what's happening on 37, 500,000 cars a month go through 37 through that corridor. That is certainly not the same level of traffic that goes through downtown. So as a community and as a community that wants to make their downtown.
And
thrive.
that's not the business's fault. I mean, they're where they are because of the extra traffic.
Sure.
And anybody else would be welcome to do that, you know?
And just a reminder,
I
this is solely for board discussion too. There's no decision or
Okay.
motion.
Well, I think the discussion
Oh, we're having
is
a good
gonna
discussion.
land no matter what day you do it.
Yeah,
It's whether it happens now or whether it happens later, but it's certainly,
I would hate to set the downtown corridor apart from the rest of the DDA district. They should all be equal and receive the same benefits. And if we're gonna do it down here, I wouldn't mind if it was done up there, but I don't know if that's feasible.
Well, it sounds like I should have started my business in another location then.
Well,
that's the point, is
But
that
if,
these
you know,
are,
if just snow removal would prevent you from coming
Well,
downtown.
no,
you know
because
what I
the
mean?
snow removal
Yeah,
isn't.
because normally isn't, the villages and the town, the towns take care of the sidewalks. I don't, I was on the DDA in Hastings, and I don't recall that being a thing down there.
And I've been the supervisor for over 5 years, and for 5 winters, I've removed my own snow from the sidewalk.
So,
Well, maybe the volunteer doesn't need to do that.
right? Would be interesting to see. I mean, I don't care whether we discuss it or further, or whether we just vote our conscience right now. Whatever, it's just
did
a
you say that
lingering
there's
item.
another discussion
There is
with the
this is-
council?
So this is just, for discussionary purposes. There was no formal.
No, there was no.
No, there's
But-
no.
But I will tell you
To
that
see what-
the feedback that I got from customers in the downtown area was that it was very nice to have those sidewalks clear. And, we have empty buildings where people don't even show up. So, where buildings, I don't know what their deal is, but they're sitting in a state of flux. Those sidewalks would go wholesale go cleared as well, right? So I get it. We want to be part and parcel to everybody and be inclusive of everybody, but I think there's going to be opportunities regardless
So
in
I
a
was-
long-term.
if I was drafting a recommendation, I feel based on the board's feedback that I've heard, I think it's feasible that we could potentially determine what the cost difference was or impact of doing the entire area versus what's proposed from snow removal. And beyond that, we are planning on having a strategic planning session that would be an ideal time for discussion between the council and the DDA board as to where this could be hashed out prior to next year's budget. So there would be no tentative delays, that everything could still move along at the same time. That'd be my 2 cents.
Can we move it to that?
Yeah, I would say let's move it to our strategic planning.
For further hash time on it. All right, now moving on to the new business, the right-of-way survey quote.
So this was identified, when we were working on the East, Main Street Vision Plan, that it was noted we do not have an accurate, description of the right-of-way, within this corridor here. So the staff is recommending that the board consider approval of professional services to identify and map East Main Street right-of-way to support downtown planning, permitting, and future streetscape improvements. That planning is also engaged with said consultant to come up with a way for approving right-of-way permits so businesses can better activate the downtown area, from utilizing that right-of-way. However, we need to have accurate descriptions of what the right-of-way is as part of that process. And as mentioned, this would further help, or it would be essential for future street reconstruction and improvements. But doing it today would allow for the assistance with those planning placemaking measures.
So, right away, to me, sounds like a survey, right?
That's correct. This is a surveyor that will be doing the work. They will be surveying the downtown to identify where the right of way is. Because per like the
Like
last
the center.
discussion, I can't even tell you for certain that that is public right of way, that that's not their property.
Gotcha. That seems surprised that we don't have that, I guess.
It is a little surprising, but, this firm has been the engineer of record for over 20 years for the village. And, they have informed us that we don't have accurate legal descriptions of this area.
So that's probably gonna stop, like, any of those potential improvements that we've been talking about on that road, because we don't know who owns what.
Anything on Main Street.
That seems a problem.
We don't even know what the setbacks on the side, like accurate setbacks on the sidewalks. I mean, if we ever decided to improve the downtown, we would not know where
So that's the challenge, like the last discussion we had, that may be their private property. So it may not even be a viable option.
So when they put sidewalks in, they were just like, think it should go here. What do you think, Bob? Yeah, sounds good. And everyone's like, sure, let's do it.
Can't confirm.
It sounds like that's where we're at.
So yes, that they noted, well, because as part of the vision plan, which is at the end of your packet, that we went through identifying approximations for like where the right of way was. And this is one of the items that they noted as a potential concern.
And the township doesn't have it? Just asking, because it seems like between the two of us, somebody should have it.
So, yeah, our engineering firm would be the, individual to have it if we didn't. You know, there's good probability that we did have this information, but it was likely lost in form of fire.
When they do this, are they gonna furnish the information to GIS?
So we can certainly work with the county surveyor to get that information updated on county GIS. Can definitely do that.
Well, yeah, because if it goes over there, then it's in the, like, public domain and people can use it and don't have to do a mother may I probably.
And now our record retention process, we don't just keep physical copies and have them backed up on the server. That this information is typically also not just kept in planning and zoning, but also in public works for utility management. So, there's a lot more, faults that would have to occur for the
Yeah.
information to be lost. Besides, of course, the surveyors are required to keep the information when they do surveys, even after they retire. That information is given to someone else.
Well, I think that'd be beneficial for the township and for the village, so I just guess we.
I really hope this right of way information is wrong.
Yeah, I think that
Wow.
helps.
It's like right through the middle.
Right there.
Yeah. GIS is typically within 3 to 10 feet, but
It's a lot more than that. Yeah.
So it sounds like that's a good thing that somebody should be doing. And so what is the proposal then?
so, what was being asked is, tentatively a motion to approve the proposal from Williams and Works for East Main Street right-of-way identification and mapping in an amount not to exceed $10,500 and to authorize staff to proceed with the work.
I'll make that motion.
I'll support it.
Further discussion?
Casey Haney.
Aye.
James Tim.
Aye.
Derek Schaefer.
Yes.
Tim Dencham.
Support.
Kevin Smith.
Aye.
Ann Olber.
Yes. The downtown smart streetscape, audio system.
So the recommendation is staff recommends that the board discuss the updated proposal and provide direction regarding interest in the project and preferred funding approach. As many of you know, our downtown audio system is no longer supported. That company is obsolete. That previously last year, that this vendor had provided a quote of approximately $72,000. That the board paused based on concerns associated with the funding. They have came back with an updated quote of approximately $60,229. There is a proposal in here that goes into a good amount of detail. It is listed as audio system. However, they certainly do provide additional resources that could be viable for EMS purposes or public works and other potential opportunities that could be discussed or evaluated. Bring this before the board to see what your thoughts are regarding this, being that we don't currently have the audio system. But from the fiscal impact, we can say that the design committee has approximately $18,280 unallocated. So this is not something that the board would be able to approve as part of this year's funding cycle without a budget adjustment. So if this is something that the board was looking into, it could potentially be deferred to or looked at as part of the 2027 budget.
You know, that 18,000, we're already getting rid of 10,500 for the right of way.
Well, and I compared this number that related to the right of way, you're correct.
So really it's about 8,000. Get a pretty good speaker for $8,000.
Yeah, one.
But it's gonna have to be really big, because it's also gonna have to go down to the other part of, on the M37 corridor too, so. Just don't want them in this, gotta make sure we cover that as well. Really big speakers. So I don't think this is gonna happen
Well, at
this
least we
year.
can use it all.
So this
not
is
just
something
in
that if the board,
winter.
I mean, our development plan certainly supports it by, improved or modified streetscape on Main Street of up to $500,000. But yes, budgetary standpoint, we don't have the funding resources.
We couldn't even really put a down payment down if we even wanted to start doing
This would be
part of it.
something that we could place into our 2027 budget as a pre-approved or planned item, if that's the board's interest.
Maybe they'll shave another 18 grand or.
Yeah, let's tell them we took issue with this, see if they knock it down
Each year
another
it goes down a little bit
12,000.
more. So how about we make a motion to postpone this until the 2027 budget?
So do you want this included as part
As
of?
a discussion in the,
Yeah.
when we go over the 2027.
You're gonna take an action right now, I think you need to
Yeah.
make a motion at all.
No,
We can just ignore it.
Yeah.
Pretend it's
yeah,
not there.
thank you.
All right.
Okay, DDA depository.
So this depository is, recommendation is to move to approve an independent bank as an authorized depository before the DDA. I can go into more details if any of you are interested, that our finance director, our treasurer had prepared this document with the understanding of independent bank being another tentative industry within the greater Millville area. So this wouldn't be anything that would affect us today. It's just here as make sure we don't have any future challenges. You have any comments or concerns or questions?
I would also say this is probably a good time to go take a look at this and shop around and see who else is gonna offer. I mean, because we also have Thorn Apple Credit Union, who's also, a member of the area as well.
Do we still?
And I can touch base with Glorimar about that too, and, verify or make sure that we have an updated list, so you're aware of, the institutions that are currently.
But I just think, I know that you're obviously,
I would abstain from voting.
right.
So, but.
But it would just seem like this would be the time, because once we start going in with independent, then we're gonna be there until they merge or do whatever. You know what I mean? Usually you don't look at it
And this
again.
doesn't mean that we have to do our banking
Right.
with them, just
Right.
that we could.
Yep.
So absolutely.
I mean, we have two options in Middleville, right?
Three,
Three, who's the third?
the other credit union.
Community West.
Oh, yeah.
And you can't abstain because you don't have a personal interest.
Okay,
Sorry.
but I do, kind of.
No, I mean, you don't have a personal financial gain one way or the other.
No.
That-
Commission on interest,
Huh?
commission on interest.
Right.
So, yeah, this, Guamar brings these before the board whenever there's a new bank or institution that we're looking at tentatively doing, banking.
And if you were to keep the funds within HCB, in the future, you would have to approve it, having independent bank as the depository at that point too, because the independent bank purchased HCB.
Does she have a recommendation?
So her recommendation is to,
It'd be our recommendation to include them as a depository.
Right.
Whether you, keep your funds with them at that, after that point, or, shop around later or anything like that. You need to have them on the, financial policy as a depository.
yeah, just that move to approve independent bank is not authorized depository for the DDA.
I could approve that, but I would also like us to be able to go and take a look, and see if she would make a recommendation to us as what she thinks would be the best thing for the DDA.
I will ask her if she can draft a memo about feasibility of
Sure.
other institutions, what makes sense. Who are currently authorized depositories.
So I recommend to make a motion to approve Independent Bank as an authorized depository.
Support.
Kevin Smith,
Aye.
James Tim.
Aye.
Tim Dencham,
Aye.
Casey Haney. Aye. Eric Schaefer,
Yes.
Ann Albert.
You have to go, sorry.
She could have.
No, she can't abstain.
I said that at the beginning, so. Moving right along. Financial administrative policy admin.
So this next item, the recommendation is to review and adopt the proposed amendments to the DDA financial administrative policies as presented. That there's 3 items that have been included in here. The one is the 2024 revised version. The other is the proposed. And then there is also a lined version that indicates what the changes or the differences are between the 2 documents. There's a good amount of changes that these, not just myself and Glomar, but also the person assisting us with auditing, he had drafted many of these items as recommendations to new updated policies. So some of these may not be that negotiable, I guess we can say. It just depends. Certainly, items like what you would want to authorize, like myself versus the board to potentially be able to approve those things, can be discussed if you're looking at making changes there. But a lot of these, items are not, specific to dollars, that they're more related to the policies and procedures that the treasurer is helping us in documenting things appropriately. It's a lot of pages, and it's not, certainly comments, questions, concerns, board is willing to, wants to discuss this further. It's a lot. Can say that, we have been updating approximately every 2 years, as you know.
So who is the auditor? Dan Bellheisen?
Mm-hmm.
But this is important as it will dictate how we are able to do everything from budgeting to bonding, fiduciary responsibilities, bid requirements, all those items.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the proposed amendments to the DDA financial administration policies as presented.
I'll support.
James Tim. Kevin Smith,
Aye.
Tim Dungeon,
Support?
Eric Schaefer,
Yes.
Casey Haney,
Yes.
Ann Albert,
Yes. Okay, we're going to be moving on to the director's report.
So absolutely. So, Caitlin is here with us. She has been here about, 3 weeks. We haven't ran her away yet. That there's, obviously, completed a second course and certification is mentioned. We had approximately 8 volunteers last month, for DDA boards and committee activities. Related to the design committee, I have gotten feedback, from the attorney. So tentatively, we can hopefully discuss a time to schedule a meeting and go over some of those items, for future, impacts. Already mentioned that the, street standards, or the improvements are in this packet. That the Main Street ban infrastructure, that is, still working or discussing with, a second company. Let's see, so there's been 6 business retention visits so far. And as mentioned, May 6th being our tentative date for the business meet and greet. And we have continued to see more sponsors and engagement with businesses. There has also been a discussion or tentatively about if the events and promotions committee, will be interested in looking into like a downtown beautification or adopt a garden project. It's something that can be discussed, at another meeting. I have that on here as well. Other than that, the council did approve of the permits for the events, moving the days to Thursdays. And I don't really have any other updates unless you have comments, questions. Yes, sir.
Didn't you also, we also had that meeting about the website improvement in the last month, right? Or did I miss that?
That's.
That is correct, and that is also on the agenda here. Ms. Brown will be presenting that.
Jumping the gun. Quiet.
No worries. I intentionally omitted that.
All right, so that was all of your report?
That's all the social district was looking at, potentially procuring signage, but still seeing what happens with these other businesses.
Okay. So there's some informational items in here, one being the village report, the village manager's report. Let's check it there. The revenue versus expense report. As of 3/31/26, that's on there. There's some discussions you wanted to do on that. And then we do come down to the community development coordinator report, the website refresh.
Okay. Am I okay sitting here? I can get up. Okay. So I'm excited to be here. So we had that meeting, I think last week. And we kind of talked a lot about different things that we want to see, come to the website and kind of fill me in on everything. So I'm more than willing to help put in the work that's kind of like required to kind of help with organization, the information and help with the supporting documents. But I feel like some portions of like the messaging should probably come from the DDA board itself rather than just one person's like viewpoint, like how it's like the verbiage and stuff, and just to kind of reflect on how it relates to the mission, goals, and like overall statements. So when I was reviewing this, the last mission statement was adopted in 2018. So I think this might be a good opportunity for us to just review the mission statement as we're getting ready to update the website. Just might be a natural point to like revisit it just to see how it's kind of going and to see if we are wanting to update it. This just gives us a great opportunity since we're doing all the updates that we might as well update this if we feel like it doesn't align anymore. I also included the proposed website sitemap. This was provided a while ago, but I just wanted to kind of highlight that again. Since the last meeting, we did add a things to do section. That was one thing that Tim kind of wanted to see added. We kind of talked about different like visitor friendly information, shopping and things like that. So they added that for us. But other than that, everything else is the same as it was before. So over the next couple weeks, they want me to start to help give them information provided for each of these areas. We did take the website down. So if you look at the Middleville DDA website now, it's just shows you, it has the logos for the Riverbank series and the market and the dates, but other than that, they can't see anything else, just as we're getting ready for the website refresh. So I guess the next steps, we have to, like, I was wanting you guys to decide if you think that it's appropriate to update the mission and vision and kind of the goals, or just kind of keep it as is as we move forward with the new site. And then just kind of confirm like the tone and the key messages and the wording and how it reflects like what the board wants to communicate. And then, yep, I already mentioned that we added the things to do section as well. So yeah, I'm really like looking forward to helping with this and providing and like the legwork and stuff. I just want to make sure that everything that I'm providing is kind of what the board wants to see. Any questions on that?
I see we have a dedicated volunteer and get involved section, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
What do we have, and I'm just perusing through this, of what the DDA has done. So like a track record, if you will, like when we contribute, for instance, to a TIF, bringing in apartments, or if we have a Main Street improvement, or how the DDA contributes to parks and things like that. Like, is there a track, do we have a page dedicated to like what the DDA actually does regularly? But also what we've done that's material accomplishments. Would that be something that might be of interest on here?
Part of that was the before and after
Yeah, the
gallery.
gallery.
Yeah, now
Featuring
whether,
DDA-supported
it goes
projects.
beyond that or not, that could be discussed. Because the original goal was.
I think it's different than, I think gallery is different than I think what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying like, really like a case study of like what the DDA did to participate in some of those projects. I think photos are great, but
That could be under the about the DDA section, because that kind of like is the area where it really wants to know like what the DDA is, who it is, like the board members, and like why it exists and like what it does for the community. We could potentially add something in that section.
like just like something to like an accomplishments
Yeah.
or a,
Yeah.
Since the DDA was established in 19, whatever, we have provided blah, 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 blah.
And we've contributed, like the DDA in general has contributed to an enormous amount of projects in the
Yeah.
downtown area that really are substantial. I think it would be great to, the before and after is great, but I'm just thinking like telling the story and
Yeah.
giving more history, and maybe that gallery is the right place to do it. It's just including more, how much money they contributed, or, like what the, a lot of those things, like just to show where the money goes. Because I think a lot of the questions are always, it's kind of like, I always find it really interesting and certainly reassuring when at the beginning of a road construction project, it says, we're gonna spend $4.5 million on this project, and these are the things that are happening. I think that's like kind of where I'm headed with that. Just to kind of give more detail about, because people always talk about taxes.
Yeah, I think we'll need your help to figure out whether or not that would better align with like the gallery or about the DDA, or looking at something else.
Well, I mean, the DDA's been around for a while, so I don't know how the gallery may help for some things. And pictures are cool, don't get me wrong.
So we
but
started in 2003, grants started in 2007.
So, right, so from 2007, I think
Yeah.
that just like a bit of a history on there, because then that might also help if you were trying to go after volunteers, like, what am I volunteering? What do we do?
Exactly.
And
Pictures are cool, like I said, but actually listing out all the projects that were done on there, I think that helps as well.
Changes we've made to Middleville and made possible to Middleville.
because since I've grown up, Middleville has changed a lot, so it'd be pretty cool to see what all the DDA had part in.
I'd have to see like where, because under here also talks about like businesses supports and like placemaking initiatives under programs initiatives, so I'd have to see where we could align with the pages that we kind of already have set, or if we have to have another.
It's just another
page added,
page.
but-
I mean, even if you put in an accomplishments
Yeah.
page, I mean, it's
Yeah.
one more page. It takes 30 seconds to make that happen.
Yeah.
So I think it might be great to tie into the gallery,
I think so
but
too.
maybe link into a separate, maybe do a deeper dive on each of those projects, but also I think a timeline is
Yeah.
really cool too. Like, since 2007, I just think that the more detail that you show, it shows how involved the DDA has been. I mean, parades and 4th of July fireworks and, Riverbank Music Series and all of these things that have come to pass over time that really are great draw.
It's gonna take 30 seconds to type it all up, but it's gonna take a little bit, I think it's gonna be some research.
Research, no, there's no
To
doubt,
try to
there's no
figure that
doubt,
out.
there's no doubt.
If I may add to that, we could have a list of what we did, and then you can click on that, and then there'll be like the gallery for like the before or after, or if it's an event, there's a gallery from pictures from that event.
Yeah. And I'm coming at the 11th hour here. I know I was supposed to be in that meeting. Got hammered that day with other tasks, so. Yeah, if there's any way, and if there's any way I can help contribute to that, for sure, just let me know.
Going forward, like, obviously there's no like motion or anything, but how do you want me to like go about like filling in this information? Because I'm wanting to do like work and stuff, like the mission, vision, stuff like that. Do I just kind of go with what's already established, or try to have more of an informal meeting of like that kind of stuff for the website refresh? How would you want to go about that?
I mean, I think at the end of the day, we just review it and come prepared, like read our packet, review the website, come back changes.
Do what you think is
I agree.
best.
Okay. I'm just new, so I wanted to make sure
And then
we're all
just
on the
ask
same
Doug.
page.
And then we'll blame Doug.
Okay,
That's how that's gonna work,
okay,
so.
yep. We can do that. We're just kidding.
So if anything we don't like, it's all your fault, though.
Is that all we need from that?
Yep.
Thank you. All right, the Main Street Vision Plan.
So this is the document that the design committee's been working on. The plan would be to potentially present this to the planning commission and then to the village council for consideration as an update to our current plans. There's a lot of good information in here for anyone that hasn't had a chance to look at it, because it doesn't just suggest or show like the various, improvements from the design perspective that are being proposed in the downtown area. They've also done, sketches on improvements, and, specifically like the intersection of Church Street and Grand Rapids. They've done items there, and you'll also know that they have like the various standards from auditing, because they had meetings with administrative staff as well to get additional, feedback, to make, it's a lot of good information in here. That I could spend a good amount of time talking about. And yes, there's also incorporated links to the various items that they're recommending, for potential improvements to help with adapting or implementing these future improvements. This gets the information accessible to Public Works or whomever it is that may be, acquiring items, so we can, maintain, the consistent branding, so forth. Gladly talk about anything in there if anyone has any questions, but it's a good amount of information. Strongly encourage any of you to look at it, because if any of you don't know, when the TDA was established in 2003, we received a grant for the downtown blueprint. And one of the items that was part of that process is it recommended us to have design plan for the downtown Main Street. So it's a little over 20 years in the making, but we have.
Assuming we own the property, we think we own it.
That's, I mean, these are dramatic improvements. Part of that meeting when we met about just the streetscape and, I mean, it's really remarkable what this vision spells out. It'd be a huge improvement. And some traffic calming in there in case anybody is worried about that.
Watching those vehicles go by every day, yeah, I think that's probably not a bad idea.
So yeah,
Part of
this is
that.
all designed with the understanding that this is the traditional downtown area.
Yeah.
Making sure the streets, serve the downtown as they should.
Public comments? Nothing comment? Do you, board member comments? Start with you guys down here. Do you board member comments?
I don't have any.
No comments.
I honestly can't think of anything.
I'd like to say, welcome.
Thank you.
Nothing for me?
Nothing?
I think I've talked a lot
You've got
today, so I'm just gonna be
something.
quiet and go back to painting when this is all done.
Well, I'm happy everybody showed up today, so thank you, appreciate that, and welcome to Caitlin. She's been, we went out yesterday, it was a great time, and she's a good addition to our staff, so,
Thank you.
You're here.
yeah.
We're here.
So, okay, with that, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I will make a motion to adjourn.
I can second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.